And in studio, we do have the PS, as I shared earlier on. Tomorrow, we do have a big day when it comes to MSMEs. You will be telling us more about it. Thank you so much, PS, for joining us.
Thank you.
Before we get to the big celebration for tomorrow, I do want to talk a little bit, and we've been sharing stories about the protests that we had in the country yesterday. What is the status currently of the MSME sector?
I think before I even talk about the status, it's just it's been a sad day and a very long day for this nation, for MSMEs, for ourselves, and for the country and people of goodwill. And let me begin by just extending my heartfelt sorrow to the small businesses owners who now have gone back to poverty because of what happened yesterday, but also sending my condolence to the families of Kenyans who lost their lives yesterday because of the protests, the very violent protests. And the days before the protest, we saw a lot of hype in the social media, but to me it did not appear as if they were the protesters, those who were organizing, meant this, because they were saying, we are going to see a murder of all protest. So it is very sad because what happens is that last year when many businesses were again disrupted, most of those businesses have not recovered. Then we have another second round of destruction. So what is happening is that we are losing jobs. Somebody somewhere has lost a livelihood, a source of livelihood. Somebody somewhere is likely to go into depression. And who knows, we are likely to witness many lives being lost out of economic distress. So what I keep on asking is that why do we choose to be selective when advocating and when clamoring for justice and for various rights, when we cannot also respect the next person's rights? And in a country where unemployment is our biggest problem, and every year we have an entry of close to 1 million young people into the workforce, and our job market can only accommodate less than 200,000, leaving us with a deficit, a whopping deficit of 800,000, and all of them now figuring out in the informal sector what they can do, you know, to just have a livelihood. And then we're destroying their source of livelihood. So we are just exacerbating the unemployment situation in this country. And so I think we should be ashamed as a society. We should be ashamed. It should not reach this level. And for those who are organizing this protest, it is incumbent of them to ensure that they coexist with other Kenyans also, who also have their rights properly enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya. It's really, really disappointing. Now, I know today I've been having engagement. I've really had a long day, and talking there, even people in some of the organizers, and were saying, you know, security, you know, I mean, it's not about the security. Maybe what people need to understand is that for the past now 3 years of the current administration, we've not had any recruitment of police force. Why? Because we are not a military state. You definitely want to direct your resources to sectors that can support the economy to grow. And this is what this government has done. Our resources have been directed to key sectors of growth, to agriculture, you see, to infrastructures like affordable housing that can create jobs, to the health sector. But you see, when we do things intentionally, we cause chaos and say, what were police doing? It means we need now to reconfigure the way we organize economic growth and go back to investing more in the security sector, in the military sector.
Yes.
So then this is not what I think many Kenyans wish for. I mean, we have always enjoyed an environment, very liberal environment, democratic environment, where we can say anything. I mean, you've been saying, but also we should not abuse that. And I think it is so sad. Any level-headed leader today should condemn what happened yesterday with the strongest terms possible. And going forward, we need to have a conversation, and we need to relook and to come up with a new order of expressing our grievances, appreciating that my right stops where another Kenyan's right begins. So I think we are ruining our economy. You know, for whichever reason, even if it's for political reason, if you are hoping to become, like they're saying, even the next president, be it today, tomorrow, or in the future, you should really be wishing this government a success, so that then they can put a strong economic foundation. When you come in, then it becomes easy for you to take it to the next level. You cannot be, you know, pushing for distraction. So we need to condemn this, and I condemn it. I feel for small businesses, because those are jobs. These are people who are holding our economy, and this is happening, honestly, on the eve of the celebration of the World MSME Day. And this day was recognized in April 2017 following a resolution by the United General Assembly. And they were just acknowledging the significant contribution that our MSMEs make across world economies. And they appreciate the potential that this sector has in supporting us to accelerate the realization of sustainable development goals. So the world over, there's that increased focus, increased attention to the MSME sector. So here Kenya, we had been preparing for this day, the highest high level, you know, commemoration of this day. We didn't know that this will happen. So instead of celebrating the milestone that we made, we will be like mourning. We are now going to mourn. And that's why when I made proposal, that because it seems as if we are likely to be experiencing this situation each and every year, in the minds of those who are organizing this protest, I think we need to sit down with the insurance companies and see how can we also quantify this probably as a risk, which we can see how to manage it, come up with mechanism, so that we don't keep on sending majority of our people who are waking up very early in the morning, working hard, not just to support our economic growth, but also to create jobs, not just for themselves, but for the majority of people that they employ in their businesses. And for agencies, let me just reach out to them. Yes, we know it is not easy, it is tough. We've gone to school well, you expect a job. The jobs are being created by those small businesses world over. Government does not create majority jobs. Today we have a potential workforce of over 20 million Kenyans. 3.5 million jobs are in the formal sector. Only 1 million, and even less than that, is in the civil service. The majority are the private sector. But who is private sector? The private sector includes those MSMEs. MSMEs are private sector. So instead of supporting them to grow and scale up, so that then they create those secure, sustainable jobs, professional jobs for some of our well-schooled young people, we are now destroying. It's unfortunate and it's sad.
And even looking at some of the stories that we shared, we had business people just talking about how they had to even take up loans and they're unable to pay for their loans. What are some of the ways that the government can cushion the micro and small medium enterprises during times like this? And also how, if when you're even talking to insurance companies, is it a viable business for them? What were the discussions looking like? My director is saying, Lean, this is your best side. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I think
but you can
gonna
continue facing me.
Yeah.
He says this is your best side. So
that's your best side.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
So yeah, you see, now we are in a situation, and sometimes desperate situation also calls for some we need to think outside the box to look for certain measures that can support this. And I think if it's being done, I think anywhere in the world, I think it can also happen here. Because if there is a promise of these events occurring every year, then that becomes predictable. And then risk which you can predict, you can quantify, and you can cost it. So I think this is something that we can sit down. And even if, because I saw the statistics saying 60% are not insured, okay, fine. But this is something that we want to implore upon our MSMEs to start considering, and I think we'll come up with a way out of this. I think it can be done. I mean, remember, Kenya has been fast on many fronts. I mean, we were fast when it comes to mobile technology and money technology. When people say it cannot happen, I mean, it will not happen, but it happened here. I think as far as the risking of MSMEs, this is an area that you're willing to explore and see how it will surface.
Yes. Tomorrow is Celebration Day, World MSMEs Day. Tell us a little bit about what the celebration is about around the world.
So, like I said in my opening remarks, is that we are recognizing the role, or rather the significant role that MSMEs play across the world economies. Kenya, of course, being one of them, as you know, most of the jobs that we have in our economy. And I don't know why people never appreciate this, you know, that 98% of businesses in Kenya are MSMEs. The large enterprises, the corporates, only constitute 2%. So 98% of businesses are all MSMEs, and the majority of them are micro enterprises, you know. And that's why when at any time when you see people, you know, applauding Kenya, saying that we are industrious, we are working hard, we have a population. When you say Kenya can work very hard, their focus is because of us being entrepreneurial in our setup and, you know, figuring out something to do and not just staying there and things happening. Kenya will always find something to do. And for us, we now need just to support them, even morally. They need moral support, they need economic support. And we'll be reaching out to our other key actors in the MSME ecosystem, especially the banks. Because, you know, you cannot do business outside the borrowed money. We do business from credit. Even if it's your own money, you lend to your business, you know, and you expect returns at the end of the day. But if you are in a space where you cannot make a break even, you cannot even make anything, and you are having this disruption, then it's really sad. And let me tell you, this is like if someone destroys your business, it's like they've taken a part of you, a critical part of it. It's like they've chopped off your neck. Because I saw today in the media platforms, our young people are crying, especially our lady entrepreneurs. People are wailing. You would have imagined they've lost a loved one. They were really wailing. Look, I just borrowed 2 million. I don't know where to begin from. So we will be talking to financial institutions to see how we can come up with the recovery measures, including even structuring, restructuring some of those loan obligation to see. And then as a government also, we, like as I promised in the morning, we're going to set up a team to go around around the country in those counties that were adversely affected and see how see the extent of the destruction, and see which kind of intervention we can support them, even if it means coming up with certain innovative financial products that can recover them, restock the shops, and see we are going to do that. Because if you go to River Road, for example, you find in a shop, you find at least 2 people, 3 people. Those are just people who are directly employed. Now they're jobless. They're going back home. Some people don't know how they'll pay their rent. People don't know how they'll put food on the table. Those who have young children, they do not know where they'll get a packet of milk. It is that worse. So we'll find a way of coming in and seeing how to support. So we'll be going around the country to quantify those losses and see how we can come through. But again, this is not to say that now we encourage, you know, those violent civil action. I mean, we're all Kenyans. We all have our rights enshrined in the Constitution, and we all have a right to coexist and to carry on with our economic engagement. In the celebrations tomorrow and in the meeting, is digital innovation one of the discussions that we're going to see? It is. Today the theme for tomorrow or this year's theme is enhancing the role of MSME, seeing how do we support them to drive innovation. That's the theme. And we know especially this good for Kenya, because Kenya, our startup ecosystem, is really, appreciated across the world. The other day I was in the US attending the investment summit, and in the conversation, people, when you say you're from Kenya, say, you're good in startup. You know, you're really doing good. So you see, we have this global recognition. But now for us, Kenya, what it means is how do we build a very robust startup ecosystem where we know majority of our young people are taking a big role in it. And it's also good. We will also celebrating the key milestone we have achieved in those sectors. As you know, this year, Kenya led in the whole of Africa in terms of startup financing. You know, we got more money compared to other countries across Africa, and this means that now the attention and the concentration is in Kenya. We can do better just through our technology advancement, and if we just incubate properly our startup ecosystem the way we're doing through efforts like what we are doing, establishing 100,000 kilometers of digital superhighway across the country, and then also the works that you're doing in Konza Techno City, and many other initiatives in the digital space. I think this is going to be the next pillar of our revenue in this country, and we know the potential that it has to creating jobs for our young people. So we, my director tells me we're running out of time. Really? And we just started. I am looking forward to even attend the celebrations tomorrow and find out more about even market
and
access.
We'll also be launching the inaugural strategic plan of the MSME. To me, this is like a master plan for this ecosystem, which will demonstrate the renewed focus which the Kenyan government has placed on the MSME sector. That's why it feels sad. Once again, I just want to call upon Kenyans, our young people, our Gen Zs, our leaders, and everybody else who is involved in this space, that let us not be selective in our agitation for our rights, our freedom. Let us mind the other Kenyans. Let us not turn against each other. Imagine looting a fellow young person, a young woman, you know, of men, you know, the hard work. I mean, people have spent their time and everything. It's not right. And you see what you're doing? You may think you're doing this to upset the government of the day. You are upsetting your own future. You never know. That enterprise probably could have grown to a corporate,
yes,
which could have given you a job or give your next generation,
yes,
you know, your kins and everybody. But what you're doing here, you're chopping off your lifeline.
Yes.
So let us rethink our action,
yes,
and let us come up with the new way of doing things, of expressing our grievances.
yes,
And it's not right.
yes,
Because yes, people are up there saying, oh, these lives, these people, but you know, thousands of lives are likely
yes,
to be lost,
yes,
because of economic distress.
Thank you so much, PS Susan Mang'eni. I'm looking forward to the celebrations tomorrow, as you can tell.
And welcome.
Thank you so much. I told you I'm coming. There's a part that I really want to listen to when it comes to markets opening up for medium and small businesses in Kenya. Now,